Hi, I'm Gary, the Traveling Yogi. Thanks for joining me today. But today I've traveled to City Park. City Park is one of the oldest parks in the city of Denver. It was created in 1878 and consists of about 330 acres. Behind me you see one of the several lakes in the park, and the City Park Pavilion behind that, and that's going to be our backdrop for our practice today. So join me as we settle in to our mats and just relax. Find a nice seat, whatever seated posture feels good to you. And then when you're ready, let your eyes close down. I can hear the birds singing in the trees. Maybe where you are, you can hear the same. Begin to tune into your sensations, your sense of hearing and smell, sense of touch, and maybe even the sense of taste. Just begin to notice the sensory experiences that you are having in this moment, whatever they are. And just let those sensations wash over you without becoming too involved in them. Just observe that they're there. And notice the sensation. Maybe it's a sound far off in the distance, or even close at hand. Maybe it's a smell. I can smell the freshly cut grass here on the lawn in front of the museum. I can also smell the pine trees and the heat rising at the beginning of the day. More subtly is the smell of the water in the lake warming from the sun. Then there are all the touch sensations on my skin. My palms resting on my knees, that slight pressure. My sitting bones resting on the mat. I can feel the warm wind blowing across my bare skin. Whatever those sensations are for you, just allow them to deepen, become more and more aware of them. Remember that these sensations happen all day long, and that most of the time we're not really aware of them. So this is an opportunity to become more aware, just to notice really deeply. Become aware now of the breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Bring your attention to the nostrils, right at the base of the nose, and feel the breath as it flows in and flows out. Keep bringing your awareness back to the base of the nose. Observing, watching as the breath flows in and out. Now allow your breath to begin to deepen. Feel the breath as it comes in through the nose, then flows through the throat and the chest and all the way down to the belly. When you exhale, feel the breath flow out of the belly, passing the chest and the throat, and then out the nose. 3 more times like that, a full yogic breath. Let's do 3 more. Feeling the breath flow all the way down to the belly on an inhale, and exhaling from the belly through the chest and the throat and out the nose. 2 more. Letting the breath deeply ground you on your mat, bringing you to presence for your yoga practice. 1 more breath now. Now let it go. And just feel your breath returning to its natural rhythm. And when you're ready, open your eyes. We're going to begin our postural practice on our back today. So come to your back on your mat. We're going to begin in Shavasana. Flip your palms so they face up. We'll be here just a few moments. Just enough to feel your body starting to settle into your mat. Now simultaneously pick your head up off the mat and hug your knees into your chest, rounding your spine. And then exhale, bring the arms to a T, back of the hands down to the floor beside you, and the heels come down to the mat. We'll do that again. Inhale, lift the head up, bring the knees to the chest, hug the knees in, and exhale. Straighten the legs, heels down to the mat, the head comes down to the mat. Twice more. Inhaling and up, hugging everything in, and exhale, and down, and 1 more time. Inhale and up, and exhale, and down. Now bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Bring your arms down by your side, palms pressed down, and lift your hips very gently into a very gentle bridge pose, just the very slightest bit of a back bend. Then as you exhale, bring the tailbone back down to the mat. Straighten your legs, reach your heels to the sky, legs up the wall pose, pull the toes down towards your face, and ground the sacrum into your mat. Arms come out to a T now, palms face down, bring the legs, or the feet rather, apart from one another and begin to feel that nice stretch in the inside of the legs. Now bring the soles of the feet together, bend the knees, and then bring the pinky toe side of the feet down to the mat. Bring your hands back down by your side. This is an inverted cobbler pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Reach your arms up and overhead, and then take opposite elbows. Reach the elbows towards the sky. Try and relax the back of the shoulders, and let your knees come down a little bit closer to the mat. Now release opposite elbows, bring the hands down to a T, palms facing down, knees come together, reach the heels to the sky, our second legs up the wall pose. This pose is called Viparita Karani in Sanskrit. Now pull the toes down toward your belly, and press the heels towards the sky. Feel that great stretch in the back of the legs. Now bend the knees. The feet are still off the mat. We're just going to let the knees float to the right. Keep reaching through that left hand. Let your gaze move to the left, and then back to center and to the other side. Knees to the left, gaze to the right, and back to center. Knees to the right and gaze to the left. And back to center, and knees to the left and gaze to the right. One more time on each side. We're just beginning to activate the core a bit. And last time, knees to the left, the gaze is to the right, and bring it back to center. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat, hands down by your side. Second bridge pose, maybe a little bit higher this time. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades in towards one another under the back as you press the hips just a bit higher. Take a breath. And then let the breath go. Bring the tailbone down to the mat. Now, happy baby pose. Bring the hands to the pinky toe side of the feet and relax the back of the shoulders. This will probably create a big stretch in the back of the legs and the hamstrings. Check in with the soles of your feet and see if the soles of the feet are reaching up towards the sky. Now see if you can bring the knees down a little bit more, deepening the sensation in the back of the legs. Now straighten your right leg. Keep that left knee bent. Whoa, big stretch in the hamstrings in the back of that right leg. Now bend the right knee, back to happy baby, and straighten the left leg. And feel that nice stretch, the sensation in the back of the left leg. And bend the left knee. Bring the right hand to the left foot, so both hands are on the left foot. Straighten your right leg, point the toes towards the sky. Now press your sacrum down, and then slowly bring that right leg all the way down until the heel touches, if you can. Notice where this pose creates sensation or this flow. And then once the heel lands, slowly bring it back up. Back to happy baby pose. And transfer both hands to the right foot, straighten the left leg, point the toes on the left foot towards the sky. Now keep hugging that right knee down as you let the left leg come all the way down so that left heel kisses the mat. And then inhale, reach it back up. I'm just laughing because it felt like it took forever. And bend the left knee. Back to happy baby pose. Now, peace fingers to big toes. If you can, straighten both legs. Bring the feet apart from one another into a supine splits, bringing the legs apart. And then soles of the feet together. Bring the hands to the pinky toe side of the feet and pull your heels down towards your pubic bone. See if you can pull the tailbone down towards the mat. Let the knees move apart. And for most of you, that's going to create a lot of sensation in the inner part of the thighs. Just be with that sensation. And let it go. Reach the heels to the sky, legs up the wall pose last time. And then rock yourself into a seat. And once you're seated, bring your palms to your knees. Sit up nice and tall. And drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Let the head rise up and to the other side. Left ear moves towards left shoulder. Just take a moment to feel that stretch on the right side of the neck. And let your head slowly come back up. Bring your arms to a T. Take a twist to the left. Right hand to left knee, left hand down behind you. Breathe in deeply. Now see if you can find a little bit deeper twist, pulling that left shoulder back. One more breath. Let the inhale help you lengthen. And the exhale allows you to move more deeply into the twist. And release from the twist and go over to the other side. Left hand to right knee, right hand down behind you. Breathe in. And chin stays nice and level, so try not to lift your chin try not to lift your chin up or tuck it. Chin just in a nice, neutral, level position. And see if you can twist a little bit more deeply, pulling from the navel on this side and looking over that right shoulder. Give yourself one more breath to lengthen, sitting up even taller, and then exhaling, moving more deeply into the twist. And then exhale and let it go. Bring it all back to center. Take a breath. One more. Now slowly bring yourself to table pose on all fours. Check in with the hands and knees. When you're ready, pick that left knee up, pointing the left knee off to the left side. And then slowly begin to straighten the left leg, pressing the left heel back towards the back of your space. Toes on that left foot still point to the left. Now rotate the toes on the left foot so they point down. Press back through that left heel, then bend the left knee and bring it towards your nose, and straighten the left leg and press back. Do that again. Knee comes towards nose, spine rounding, and reach straight back. One more time. Knee to nose, and straighten the left leg, press straight back. Now rotate the toes so they point to the left. Left leg stays straight. Bend the left knee, bring it forward towards the left shoulder. Touch the shoulder if you can, and then press straight back. Rotate the toes so they point down, and reach the right hand forward into table extension pose. You can point the toes on the left foot if you like. Keep reaching through the fingertips and the toes. One more breath. Now elbow comes towards knee, round the spine. We're going to do that 3 times. Reach back out. Second time, elbow towards knee, and reach it out. One last time on this side, elbow towards knee, and then stretch it out. Find lots of length here, and then bring the hand down and the knee down. Now inhale to cow pose, dropping your belly, lifting your chin, and exhale to cat. Again, inhale to cow pose, and exhale to cat. Again, inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin high, and exhaling to cat. Let's do that twice more. Inhale to cow and exhale to cat. This will be the last one. Inhale to cow. Lift your chin a little higher, and then exhale to cat pose and come back to a neutral spine. I'm going to flip over to the other side here. Pick that right knee up, point it off to the right. Right knee is bent. Now straighten the right leg. Press back through the right heel. Toes on the right foot point to the right. Now rotate the toes so they point down, and bring knee towards nose, rounding the spine. A second time. Knee towards nose, spine rounds. We're going to do it 3 times on this side, just like the other side. One more time. Knee towards nose. Let your spine round deeply, and then exhale, press straight back. Now rotate the toes on the right foot, pointing them to the right. Stay grounded in both hands. When you're ready, bend that right knee, bring it forward, maybe touching the right shoulder with that right knee. Now press the right leg straight back. Then rotate your toes so they point down. Stay grounded in the right hand and reach the left hand forward. Table extension pose. You can point the toes on the right foot if you like. And when you're ready, bring elbow towards knee, rounding the spine. And then reach back out. Do that a second time. Elbow comes towards knee, spine rounds, and exhale, reach it out. And one more time, elbow towards knee, exhale and stretch it out. And then bring the hand and the knee to the mat at the same time. Now inhale to cow pose, dropping your belly, lifting your chin, lift the chin a little higher. And exhale into cat pose, rounding the back deeply. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. And one more time, inhale to cow pose. And exhale to cat. Now come back to a neutral spine. Then tuck your toes. And let's lift our hips into our very first downward facing dog. Press your hands into the mat. Reach the tailbone up and back. Bend the knees a little here if you like, if there's too much sensation in the back of the legs. Stay with it, lengthening the spine. Then step the right foot forward so it ends up between the hands, coming into our first runner's lunge. Now straighten the right leg. Keep your spine long, spine approximately parallel to the mat. You've come up on fingertips in this pose. You can pull the right hip back a little bit, left hip reaching forward, and then bend the right knee. Bring the left knee down to the mat, and then straighten the right leg. Reach the crown of the head forward, lengthening the spine, and then bend the right knee. Bring the left knee to the mat, second time, and then straighten the right leg. Third time on this side. Feel that sensation in the back of the right leg, then bend the right knee. Come back to runner's lunge. Step your right foot back into plank pose. Take a deep breath and let the breath go. Do that again, big deep breath. And exhale, let the breath go. One more time, deep breath in. And exhale and let it go. Now lift your hips, downward facing dog. Second downward dog, lengthening the spine. Press those heels down towards the mat so that you feel sensation in the back of the legs. Now step the left foot forward so it ends up between the hands. Coming over to our second side, now straighten the left leg. Feel the sensation in the back of that left leg as you reach the top of your head forward. And pull that left hip back, pull the right hip forward a bit, and then bend the left knee. Bring the right knee to the mat. Keep the hands on the mat here. Then straighten the left leg. Right knee comes off the mat, and feel the sensation in the back of the left leg. We're just stretching out the hamstrings, warming them up. Now bend the left knee, right knee to the mat. And last time, straighten that left leg, press the left hip back. Now continue working the left hip back, pulling the right hip forward, lengthening, creating more sensation in the back of the left leg. And then bend the left knee. Hands to the mat, step the left foot back to plank pose. Bring your hips down so they're aligned with your heels and your shoulders. And breathe. One more breath. Good work, everybody. Now, let's find a side plank. Left hand stays on the mat, right hand reaches up and overhead. You can reach that right hand forward if you like, and roll over on the pinky toe of that left foot. You can circle the right arm now if you like. Keep the arm long, circling it in that shoulder joint. If you want even more out of the pose, pick that right foot up, pointing the toes towards the back of your mat. Bring the right foot down, right hand comes down. And I'm going to flip around to the other side, back to plank pose. Let's find side plank on our second side. Right hand stays down. Left hand reaches up and forward this time. And then begin to circle that left arm in the left shoulder joint. Just like on the other side, if you like, pick that left foot up. And keep circling that left arm in the left shoulder joint. And bring the left foot down. Bring the left hand down, back to plank pose. Now come back to table pose with the knees right under the hips. And press your tailbone back down towards child's pose. Keep the arms reaching forward and breathe. Let the breath lengthen and soften. Another breath or two. And one more breath in child's pose. Begin now to rise from child's pose to table pose. And then from table pose, step the left foot forward so it ends up between the hands. Press into the left foot and rise into a low crescent lunge. Pressing the left knee forward a little bit more so you create even more sensation in the back of that right leg. Reach the wrists up towards the sky. Now the arms come out to a T. Take a twist to the left. Bring the right elbow to the left knee. Left elbow reaches up and overhead. This is our lunge twist. Stay with it. Work on that alignment of the arms. One more breath. Now rise. Reach the arms to a T and then back to center. Reach the arms high. And then hands come down on either side of the left foot. Tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat. And step your left foot back to plank pose. Now right hand stays on the mat. Another side plank. Reach the left hand forward, palm facing down. Stretch it out. Now left hand comes down. I'm going to flip over to the other side. Leave the left hand on the mat this time. Reach the right hand up into a side plank. Reach the right hand forward now, palm facing down. Stretch it out. Now the right hand comes down to the mat to plank pose. And just lift your hips into downward facing dog. Press the palms into the mat and reach your right leg high. Lift it up a little higher and then step the right foot forward so it ends up between the hands. Bring the left knee to the mat. Reach the arms up and overhead. We've come into our low crescent lunge now on our second side. Reach the arms out to a T. Take your twist to the right. And palms come together into a lunge twist. That left elbow is on the right knee. The right elbow is over the palms and the palms are over the left elbow. Come out of the pose, back to a T, then back to center. Reach the arms high, stretch up, and then the hands come down on either side of the right foot. Toes tuck as the left knee comes off the mat. Right foot steps back, plank pose, and just lift your hips high. There's no vinyasa there. Into downward facing dog. Now glide forward, plank pose, bring your knees to the mat, and then come all the way down to the belly. Release your hands down by your side. And on an inhale, press the palms into the mat. Keep the legs straight as you lift the feet off the mat. The knees come off the mat as well. This is a half locust pose. Keep pressing the hands into the mat. Point the toes, reaching the toes towards the back of the space, and then release. Bring the arms out to a T with the palms facing down. Bring your cheek to the mat. Just take a couple of breaths. And one more. Now on your inhale, lift the chest and the chin off the mat. Lift the arms off the mat. Reach the hands apart from one another. Notice as you breathe in, the body rises, and pay attention as you breathe out. Notice the body falls just a bit. Breathing in, the body rises, and breathing out, it falls. Release, come all the way down. Bring your hands back down by your side. Just leave your cheek on the mat. Take one more breath. Now interlace your fingers behind your back. And on an inhale, lift the chest up off the mat. And now the feet up off the mat. The legs are straight, and we're in locust pose. Press the knuckles towards the heels, and again follow. As you breathe in, feel the body rise. As you breathe out, feel the body fall. It's a gentle, subtle movement. Breathing in and rising. Now exhale and release. Bring your hands down by your side. Just breathe. And bring the hands under the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Stiffen your body as you push to plank. And lift your hips into downward facing dog. Find that length in downward dog, feeling the sensations in the back of the legs. On an inhale, lift your right leg high. And let's find three-legged dog on this side. See if you can bend the right knee and lift it up a little higher as you press the left heel down towards the mat. Keep pressing the hands into the mat. Now one more breath. On the exhale, level your hips and step your right foot forward between the hands. Ground into the right foot and rise into a high crescent lunge with the wrists reaching towards the sky. Keep pressing that right knee forward. Left leg is straight. Press back on the left heel. One more breath. Now release the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Bring your shoulder blades closer together on the back. Keep pressing that right knee forward. Now release the hands. Reach them high. And then bring them down on either side of the right foot. Right foot steps back to plank pose. Now flow through a vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Upward facing dog. Lift your chin a little higher and then exhale into downward facing dog. Now I'm going to flip over to the other side so you can see me better. Reach the left leg high. Let's find three-legged dog on this side. So you can press the left knee a little higher. That'll help you stack the left hip over the right hip. Keep pressing into both palms and then level your hips. And left foot steps forward between the hands. Stay grounded in both feet. Press the feet into the mat. Press the feet apart from one another as you rise into a high crescent lunge. That left knee is still pressing forward. The right heel is pressing down towards the back of the mat. Reach up through the wrists. Lots of extension in the upper body. Pubic bone pressing down towards the mat. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, but do it in the awkward way. Feel the shoulder blades coming closer together on the back, and then release your hands. Reach them high and then bring them down on either side of the left foot. Left foot steps back to plank pose. Let's flow through our second vinyasa. Either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Find another breath. And then tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Good work, everybody. Another breath in downward dog. And then lift the right leg high. Now about a 3/4 step forward with that right leg. And spin the left heel to the mat. Let's rise to Warrior One. Our first Warrior One in this practice. Remember to square the hips towards the front of your mat. The shoulders squared as well. You can bring your hands down to the hips if you want. I find that's helpful to square the hips up. Once your hips are square, reach your arms up and overhead. Bend that right knee just a bit more in your Warrior One pose. Then bring the hands behind you and interlace the fingers behind the back. See if you can press the skin of the palms towards one another, maybe touching. Now humble warrior. Hinge at the hips, bring the right shoulder down towards the right knee. Let your head drop down. Let the head get nice and heavy as you look back behind you. Stay grounded in that right foot with the right knee still nice and bent. And then with weight still on the left foot, slowly rise. Once you're all the way up, release your hands, reach them high. And then as you exhale, straighten the right leg. Now keep the biceps on either side of your ears, hinge at the hips, and reach the fingertips forward. Come down about halfway so your spine is parallel to the mat. Then press into that right foot and rise back up. Bend the right knee back to Warrior One. Now bring your palms to heart center. With the weight in the right foot, step the left foot forward. Then step the feet out so the toes overhang the edges of the mat. Here I'm going to turn around so that I'm facing you. Let's come down to a yoga squat, Malasana. With the elbows pressing into the knees to help open the hips. Let your tailbone get heavy. The spine stays nice and long. And then bring the hands down behind you. Come to a seat and then a cross-legged position with the right leg crossed in front of the left leg. We're going to move towards pigeon pose. Bring the hands down in front of that right shin. So you can stay grounded in that right hip and step the left foot back. Left leg is long and the toes are untucked. If you press your hands into the mat, see if you can level your hips. I'm going to move around to the side so you can see this a little better. And see if you can have that left hip at about the same level as the right hip. Keep working that left foot back a little. Moving more deeply into pigeon pose. And if you had a block, if your hips aren't even, you could put the block under the right hip on this side. Now bring yourself down to your elbows and then step the right foot back to plank pose.
3 more breaths. This isn't plank actually, this is dolphin pose.
Take a couple more breaths in our dolphin plank pose on the elbows and the forearms. And then walk the feet forward into dolphin pose. Press into the elbows, reaching your tailbone up and back so you still have lots of length and a nice straight line from the elbows through the shoulders to the hips. The knees can bend a little if you need to here. This pose creates too much sensation in the back of the leg. Now walk back up onto the hands
Downward facing dog.
into downward facing dog.
In downward dog.
And on an inhale, reach your left leg high. Point the toes if you like and press the right heel down towards the mat. Now a 3/4 step forward with the left foot. Spin the right heel to the mat. Let's come to warrior one on our second side. Whoops, little bobble there. Bend that left knee and square the hips and shoulders towards the front of the mat, which we pretty much always do in warrior one. Our tendency here is to open the hips to the right on this side. So counter that by pulling the right hip forward, left hip back. Now the hands come behind you, interlace the fingers in the awkward way. And then humble warrior. When you're ready, bring that left shoulder down towards the left knee. Reaching the knuckles up and overhead. Remember to let your head drop down. Let the head get even heavier. And take a gander behind you. Just see the world upside down. Now press in the left foot. Keep the left knee bent as you rise. And then release the hands. Reach them high. Reach out of the shoulders. And now straighten the left leg. We're going to hinge at the hips. Reach the fingertips forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Keep weight in that back foot and the right foot on this side. Halfway down, lengthen, and then slowly rise. Come all the way back up. Then as you exhale, bend the left knee and bring the hands to heart center. Weight into the left foot and step the right foot forward into our second malasana. Let the tailbone drop down and the spine lengthen. Remember, elbows to the inside of the knees. And if you bring your hands back towards your heart a little bit, it will help you open up the knees a little bit. And that'll stretch out the hips just a bit more. Now bring the hands behind you. And let's, for the second time, come to a cross-legged position, this time with the left leg crossed in front of the right as we prepare for pigeon pose. Bring the hands down in front of that left shin. Bring the weight into the left hip and step the right foot back into pigeon pose. Toes on that right foot pointing straight towards the back of the mat. And what we're working towards here is leveling the hips. So your right hip may be higher than your left hip. And if you have a prop handy, like a blanket or a pillow, put it under the left upper part of the thigh. That'll help you lift that left hip up and level the right hip. The right hip will naturally drop down if you do that. Now walk down to the elbows, preparing for our dolphin plank pose. Tuck the toes, right knee off the mat, left foot steps back into dolphin plank. Notice the long straight line all the way from my shoulders through my hips and heels. Lots of core strength in dolphin plank pose. Keep reaching your head forward so the spine stays nice and long. And now prepare to walk the feet forward into dolphin pose. Second time in dolphin pose in the practice today. So you can press your heels down towards the mat a bit. And now bring the palms of the mat, palms of the hands to the mat, and find downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, step or jump the feet forward into a standing forward fold, and then on an inhale, slowly rise. Hinge at the hips now and fold forward, bringing the hands all the way to the mat. Come to a half lift and hands to the mat. Left foot steps back. Spin the left heel to the mat and prepare to rise to warrior two. Stay grounded in that right foot. Reach the arms out. Bring your gaze forward so you're looking over the extended right hand and ground into the pinky toe of the left foot. Bend that right knee forward just a bit more. And now extended side angle pose. Bring your right elbow to your knee and reach with the left hand. Stay grounded, stay anchored in that left pinky toe. Lots of length on the left side body. Rise back to warrior two. And then upward warrior. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches straight up, reach through the wrist, try and relax the fingers and the thumb on the right hand. Keep pressing the right knee forward. Now arms out to a T, straighten the right leg, triangle pose. Right hand drops down, left hand reaches high. Trikonasana is the name of the pose in Sanskrit, and breathe. Press your left hip back a bit, reach the crown of the head forward. Try and keep the head in a nice neutral position. And slowly rise, keeping the right leg straight. Now rotate on the heel of that right foot so the toes on the right foot point to the left side of the mat. Reach up and halfway down. Keep the biceps on either side of the ears. Arms come out to a T as you rise. Let's do that again. Reach up, keep the spine long, halfway down, arms to a T. Now left hand comes to the right foot, right hand reaches high. Big, deep twist. And to the other side, right hand down, left hand reaching high. Twisting to the second side. Now back to center, arms reach out to a T, then rise. Now relax the upper body, relax the wrists and the hands. Now pivot on that left heel, bend the left knee, and find warrior two towards the back of your mat. Gazes forward over the extended left hand, right leg nice and straight and strong. So you press that left knee forward just a bit more, and then find extended side angle. Elbow comes to knee, reaching through that right shoulder. Long straight line from the fingertips of the right hand through the hip and all the way down to the pinky toe of the right foot. Stretch it out just a little bit more. And one more breath. Good. Now rise to warrior two. Left knee stays bent just as it was. Now upward warrior. Right hand comes down. Left hand reaches high. Reach up through the left wrist. Now straighten your left leg. Anchor into the pinky toe of the right foot. Left hand reaches forward. Drop it down. Triangle pose. Right hand reaches high. And keep the head in a nice neutral position. Try not to lift it up or drop it down. Now keep that left leg straight and slowly rise. Come all the way up. Keep the left leg straight. Now pivot on the left heel so the toes on the left foot point to the right. Reach the arms up and overhead. And then behind you, interlace the fingers behind the back. Press the knuckles down towards the mat. Feel the shoulder blades coming closer together on your back. Now hinge at the hips and fold forward. Let your head drop down. Reach the knuckles high and forward if you have sufficient mobility in the shoulders. Feeling that great stretch all along the back of the legs. Now bring the hands down to the feet. Left hand to left foot, right hand to right foot. Let your head get really heavy. For some of you, your head may actually come all the way down to the mat. One more breath. Now, an option for you, if you like, tripod headstand or some other version. If you like, bring your hands to the mat, top of the head to the mat, press into the hands, and lift the feet up into tripod handstand. You can point the toes, reach the toes towards the sky, and then arms, or rather legs, come out to a T, bring the feet to the mat. Slowly rise back up. Bring the hands right below the head and then out to a T. Press into the pinky toes and slowly rise. Come all the way up. Once you're up, reach your arms high and exhale the hands to heart center. Good work, everybody. Now arms out to a T. Pivot on that right heel, bend the right knee. Warrior two towards the front of the mat. Cartwheel the hands down on either side of the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Right foot steps back to plank pose. Let's flow through vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, upward facing dog. Knees off the mat if you can. Keep pressing the heart and the navel forward, deepening the back bend. And when you're ready, roll over the toes into downward facing dog. Lots of length in the spine in downward dog. Now bend your knees and take a hop forward so the feet end up between the hands. Let your head drop down. Standing forward fold. Now bend the knees and come all the way down to a seat. Once you're seated, scoot back on your mat a little bit. Bend the knees, bring the hands behind you. We're going to do a reclining figure 4 here. So bring your right ankle to your left knee, press that right knee away from you, press into the palms of both hands. You feel that stretch in the hip on the right side. Keep pressing the right knee away, deepening that sensation, deepening the stretch. One more breath. And that's it. Let it go. Release that right ankle from the left knee. And let's go right over to the other side. Left ankle to right knee. Press into the palms and press that left knee away. Do you feel the stretch in the hip on the left side? Couple more breaths. Just noticing, just paying attention, the sensation in the hip. Now release the left foot. And walk the feet forward a bit, straightening the legs. Flip your fingers around so that they point towards the front of the mat. Let's find a reverse plank. Let your head drop down. Lift your hips so the hips are in alignment in a nice straight line with the toes and the shoulders. And that's it. Release the tailbone down to the mat. Once the tailbone lands, bend the knees. Now reach the hands forward. Flip the palms so they face up. Pick your feet up off the mat. Let's find a boat pose, Navasana. If you like, bring the tips of the thumbs to the tips of the second fingers, finding a mudra, and reach the other fingers forward and point the toes. Let's stay with our boat pose. I know it's a long time. This builds core strength. Now release the arms out to a T, reach the arms high, interlace the fingers, point the index fingers into arrow mudra, another mudra. Keep pointing the toes, straightening the legs to the best of your ability. Then bring the arms back out to a T, release the heels down to the mat, reach up high, and exhale, fold forward. And let your forehead come down towards your knees or your shins. Spine lengthens. Maybe scoot your butt back a little bit to help you lengthen the spine and fold forward even more deeply. Reach the hands towards the front of the mat and slowly rise. Spine stays long. And then release your hands. Bring them down. Now bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Bring the arms out to a T and take a twist to the right, bringing the right hand down behind you. Now press in the left heel and the right knee and reach the left hand up and over, lifting the hips high. The palm on that left hand faces down. Press in the left foot a little more, lift the hips just a bit higher and let your head drop down. Stretch it out. Feel that length on the whole left side body and then let the hips drop down. Swing around facing that extended left foot and hinge forward. Let the forehead come down towards the shin or knee. Release the hands from the foot, reach the hands high, and then release them, bring them down. Let's go over to the other side. Sole the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Arms come out to a T. Take your twist to the left. Bring the left hand down. Reach the right hand up and over as you press into the right foot and the left knee. Let your head drop down and notice the palm on that left hand is facing down. And now stretch. Lift the hips a little bit higher, deepening that stretch on the right side body. And then release. Flip around so the shoulders square to the extended right leg and fold forward over the extended right leg. Lengthen the spine a bit, and then reach the hands forward, rise, biceps stay on either side of the ears. Release the hands and bring them down. Good work, everybody. Let's come back to table pose. Then from table pose, scoot your left knee over to the right knee, and then bring the left knee behind the right knee. Bring your feet apart a little bit, and then come to cow face pose, at least on the bottom, so that the heels are near the opposite hips, and the knees are stacked one on top of the other as best you can. If that doesn't work for you, remember you can always sit on something, lifting your hips, and that'll help your knees come a little bit closer together. Now reach your arms up and overhead into a 45-degree angle. As we come to eagle arms, wrap the right elbow under the left, bring the palms together, lift the elbows a little higher, feeling that stretch in the shoulders. Now keep your spine long, hinge at the hips as best you can, bringing the elbows down in front of the knees. Big, deep stretch in the hips in this pose, and then slowly rise, core engages. Now release the arms and lean back just a bit, and let's cross the legs, or the knees rather, the other way. Now reach the arms up to a 45-degree angle. Let's find eagle arms on the other side. Left elbow wraps under right elbow. Lift the elbows a little higher. Keep your spine long. Hinge at the hips as you fold forward, bringing the elbows in front of the knees if you can. And now slowly rise. Come all the way back up. Deep core engagement as you come up. Release the arms. Reach them high. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Take a breath now. And now one more breath. After the exhale, bring the hands down, lean back, and uncross the knees. We'll come out of the pose. We're going to move towards another seated hip opening pose. This one is called fire log. Bend the right knee so that the shin of that right leg is parallel to the front of the mat. And then bend the left knee and bring the left foot to the top of the right knee and the left knee to the top of the instep of the right foot. I'll turn to the side so you can see this a little bit better. Now lengthen your spine and then hinge at the hips and fold forward, creating an enormous amount of sensation in hips on both sides. Slowly rise, come all the way back up, then take a twist to the left, left hand down behind, lengthen the spine, look back over your left shoulder and then release, and over to the other side. As you breathe in, let your spine lengthen, and as you exhale, look over that right shoulder and then release. Lean back. Let's go over to the other side in fire log pose. So the left knee is bent and down on the mat, and the right knee is on top of the instep of that left foot. Spine is long so that you're not rounding in the back too much. Now hinge at the hips. Keep your spine nice and long. As you come down, notice the sensation that creates in the hips. Oh, lots of length in the spine. Bring your forehead down to the mat if you can, and then slowly rise. Spine again stays long. Once you're all the way up, take a twist to the right, right hand down behind you, and then release, and over to the other side, left hand down, look over that left shoulder. Release from that and come back to center and lean back. Let's come out of the pose. Now bend the knees and come all the way down to your back. Now happy baby pose. Pick the feet up off the mat. Bring the hands to the pinky toe side of the feet and press the knees down towards the mat. Now try and relax the back of the shoulders a little bit. Soles of the feet are reaching towards this beautiful blue sky with a few clouds in it. Now release the hands and cross the ankles. Doesn't matter, one over the other. And then press the heel of the upper foot towards the sky and press the sacrum down into the mat at the same time, lengthening the lower body. Just notice how that feels. Now bend the knees, let them drop down, and then cross the ankles the other way. And reach through the heel of that upper foot. Again, it doesn't matter which one. And press the sacrum down at the same time. Now bend the knees and let it go. Uncross the ankles. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Let's prepare for bridge pose. Lift your hips into bridge pose. I'm going to do a supported version of bridge pose. I'm supporting my hips with my hands. So my hips lift up about the distance between my elbows and my palms. That's a pretty deep bridge pose. And stay with it a few more breaths. Then if you like, you can pick that left foot up and point the toes on the left foot towards the sky. Keep pressing into the right foot. Then release the left foot down and over to the other side. Right foot straightens. Reach the toes on the right foot towards the sky.
And if you really want to have some fun, maybe bring
And if you really want to have some fun, bring both legs up.
low back.
Straighten the legs. Support the low back, the hips,
Keep that nice
and
bend
find that back bend.
From here, let's move into a version of
Now,
shoulder stand.
shoulder stand. Support the low back.
Remember, if your feet are over
If you're in a full shoulder stand, the feet are going to be over the hips and the hips are going to be over the shoulders.
full shoulder stand,
I'm almost there, not quite, but almost.
it's not necessary to do that.
Find your version of shoulder stand.
From here,
And when you're ready, keep your legs long and come into plow pose to the extent you're able to, maybe bringing the toes down behind you so the toes can press into the grass.
everybody let's meet.
And then let's all move back to legs up the wall pose where we'll meet. Palms pressing down, arms by your side.
Now, keep your legs straight and let your heels
Now,
flat.
very, very slowly,
When you're ready, flip your palms.
let the heels come down to the mat. Keep your legs straight. And then flip your palms. Let your toes flop out as we come into Shavasana. Good work, everybody.
Bring your awareness to your breath.
Time now to experience Shavasana. Try and relax your body. Let the body get heavy so that you feel the head and the back of the shoulders resting in the mat. Let the low back press down towards the mat. Feel the heels gently pressing into the mat. Bring awareness now to your breath. Feel the breath moving through your body. Feel the breath moving through the whole length of your body, all the way down to the toes, all the way to the top of the head. Breathing in and breathing out through the whole length of the body. Now begin to feel your body softening, surrendering into your mat as your body lets go. Feel all the muscles in the body softening more and more. Feel your forehead relaxing and your jaw and the muscles in the neck, the shoulders and your abdomen and the hips, the legs and the feet. Let everything soften. And when you're ready, bring your knees towards your chest.
Begin now to deepen your breath.
And then slowly roll to your side. Pause for a moment on your side just to notice the experience of resting on your side. And now with your eyes still closed, slowly come to a seat. Once you're seated, leave your eyes still closed. Feel the breath flowing in and flowing out. Notice how soft your breath has become. Notice how effortless is the whole breathing process. Now bring your hands to heart center. Let me offer you loving kindness. May you be happy and well, and may you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Have a great day. Take care.